Hey there, this is Derek Murphy of creativeindeed.com. There's been some big changes. We're now in March 2023, and the Amazon dashboard, the Kindle author dashboard, has introduced a few new features that some of us have been waiting on for a long time. So I'm going to do a quick review or tour of the KDP publishing dashboard, and I'll point out a few new features, what they mean, what they can do for you. One thing I'll touch on real quick, in case you haven't seen this before, one of your books has quality items that need to be addressed. Readers can flag typos or things that they don't like about the book. That's sort of been a problem for a lot of authors because maybe it's a grammatical choice or a style of writing that the readers feel is not appropriate or is not proper grammar or whatever. So sometimes, like, you don't actually want to fix all of these, but you have to go through and review them manually anyway and then say they've been updated or it's not a real mistake. You kind of have to do this pretty often as maintenance. If they get too bad and you have too many unaddressed issues, they could pull your books off publishing or give it like a flag quality warning on your Amazon page, which is no good. So the first new feature that I'm excited about is this title archiving now available. I've been publishing for about 10 years. I've had a lot of projects that, maybe I put up a pre-order that I had to cancel, or I had different versions of my book that I couldn't ever remove. So, for example, here's an old one that I couldn't finish in time. The pre-order was canceled, but I could never remove this from my Amazon dashboard. So I'd have to scroll past all of these, projects that never really got published. Now I can go up here and archive the title so they don't show up in my feed of books, which is pretty neat. It's a small thing, but it helps clean up my dashboard a little bit. This one says updated, create a new title or series. You could already create a series and link titles together into a series. I think this just means they've cleaned all this up a little bit. And I think they've also added Kindle Vella within the KDP dashboard. I think Kindle Vella used to sort of be its own separate dashboard. So this is why they're saying that it's updated now, where here it says you can manage your Kindle Vella stories. It still has this button to visit Kindle Vella, so it's kind of weird. I still think it's sort of a separate platform, but at least here they've made it easier to jump between the two platforms and manage everything together. They also mention hardcover books here, which isn't exactly new. I think it's been out 6 months or a year. It was kind of a big deal. It's basically a a case-bound laminate cover. So it's not a hardback cover with a wraparound case that folds into the ends. I'm probably not getting the right terms uh, currently because I just woke up, but it does have a hardcover book option on KDP Publishing, which is sort of a big deal because previously we'd have to use Ingram Spark for something like that. And hardcover books are not great for print on demand anyway, so it's really hard to make money with them because you can't price them at a price point where you can also make a profit and have a reasonable price. But for stuff like children's books, where you want to have a nice hardcover children's book, that's a great new feature, even though it's not exactly new. So the new feature that is a really big deal is that you can now see your followers in the KDP dashboard. Author Central used to be a totally separate platform. A long time ago, it was CreateSpace to create print on demand and Kindle stuff, and then also Author Dashboard, which was separate from, if you set up stuff in your Kindle or CreateSpace dashboard, it would replace the information you had on Author Central, so you had to be careful about how you updated things. So I'm going to go up here to marketing, and under marketing, this is where I would find my Amazon ads. I could also add A+ content, which was new about a year ago. That's sort of where you can add images to your Amazon page, which was a kind of a weird choice because it means you have a lot more control over your Amazon page. You can add full banners, like really nice graphic designs or illustrations. A lot of people do that with reviews, where they have a review over a picture background. This was something that, like, the big publishers could do, but the indie authors couldn't do. So now we have that. I think it's a little weird because it's almost sort of MySpacey, where you can, customize your Amazon page to have a really unique style, but it's almost a little bit messy or too much, depending on how you use it. So we'll start here with Amazon Author Central. I have to choose a marketplace and then manage the author page. And there are two new things here. The first one is book recommendations. I think that launched a month or so ago. I haven't really played with it yet, but this is information that would appear on your author page. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. When they launched this about a month ago, they also really cleaned up the Amazon author pages. For example, they removed, you used to be able to put a blog, so they would have a feed for your latest blog post. I think they've removed that section. They've sort of cleaned up the author pages, so it looks a little bit more like a clean sales page or landing page. And they've added these book recommendations, so I can recommend my favorite book, the books I want to share, my what I recommend. But I could also recommend books from other authors, which could be useful if you're driving traffic to your Amazon page. We also want to be really aware of your also bots. So directing your audience to buy similar books to your books. This is just one way to do that, to boost, whether Amazon promotes your book with those other books. It's too bad they removed the blog feature because I always have, a big list of my favorite books or influential books that I think my work is similar to that I would feature on my blog so that when I get new subscribers, I would send them to that blog post and then they would go buy some of those books. Hopefully they've also bought some of my books. That's one of the ways I try to keep my also bots stronger. But they've removed that ability to, share a blog post. But at least here, and I think I can only add 3 books. I don't know if I can add more. It's still kind of a cool little feature. So that's something I'll want to go back and set up later. But here under reports, when I'm on my Author Central Amazon page dashboard, now I can see my Amazon followers. This was never a thing before. There was a service called Book Edge that I think they cracked the code a month or two ago, and it was really exciting that somebody was able to get these data points because we've never been able to see them before. But as of today, I think, or this week, now I can see my Amazon followers in my dashboard. It's still not exactly clear how this actually works. Amazon can sometimes send out a new book release or a new pre-order release to your followers, but you cannot email them directly. So it's kind of nice to be able to see how many followers I have. That's always something I want to be able to work on and increase, but it doesn't directly boost your sales rank. It might help if Amazon decides to send out a new release alert or email, but it doesn't allow you to do that directly, and I think this is up to Amazon's discretion. It doesn't happen automatically. It says some of this stuff in the fine print here, but the terms are really vague. So it says your followers are considered for automated email and push notifications if they have the ability to receive those. So it says if your followers allow marketing emails from Amazon and then they are eligible. And then if Amazon decides, they are considered, if they decide to send it, so it's not automatic or 100%. I don't know how exactly that's going to, work out. And the timing is confusing. It says that you can um, it recommends you claim your book through Author Central as soon as possible. So even if you publish on the KDP dashboard, it won't automatically claim the book on your Author Central. You have to go into your Author Central dashboard and claim those books, which is a little old school. I hope they kind of make that a little smoother. But then it also says as soon as possible or when your pre-order is live, update your new release book detail page at least 30 days before release date. Not everybody does pre-orders or would claim that pre-order page to their Author Central dashboard. But that's something you can do and you probably want to do. But then it also says it could take up to 60 days after release to notify followers. So you don't really have any control about when that goes out. And if it's 60 days after release, then you've missed that first 30 days hot new release window. So it's better than nothing. And it's sort of nice to have a little bit more data. But we don't really have a lot of control about how this actually plays out. It also says email notifications can be sent to followers if you submit at least 3 notifications. That's sort of a little thing where early adopters will probably have an advantage. Amazon is trying to boost its book recommendations feature. So people who update their author Amazon pages with book recommendations are probably more likely to have an alert or a pulse go out to their followers from Amazon just for setting this up. We don't know if that will happen, but it could happen, and they probably won't do that forever, but they might do that now while it's still a new feature. You also now have quick access to your sales rank, to your Amazon ads dashboard. Here you can click and see, what your ranks are right now on the Amazon dashboard. My ranks are not very good because I haven't been promoting for a while, but I'm almost done with a new book and a complete series. So I'll start to, focus a little more on promotion and ads. You can also see your customer reviews from a glance. And then the other thing that I like quite a lot is that you can add a pen name up here. I think you could already, under your Amazon author dashboard account, you could create up to 3 different pen names on the same account, but it wasn't all streamlined in Amazon Author Central the way it is right now. So I just added one of my pen names. I mostly go by DS Murphy or Drake Mason for fiction. So I added this Drake Mason. Now I can switch over to Drake Mason really easily and see the information about these books. Drake Mason also has some followers, which is nice, but I haven't really built up that platform as much as I have my personal one. So it's something else I can work on. But I will set up these book recommendations and all that stuff. With the books, I think you'd have to claim your books. If they're missing a book, you could add it now. And then under your profile, you can set up some information. So down here it says we have updated the look of US author pages. Blog feeds are not displayed on US author pages. That's actually kind of interesting because it means the blog feeds are probably still displaying on other platforms, UK or Spain or whatever. Different Amazon platforms might still show those blog pages. It also says photos and videos are not displayed on US author pages, but then it says upload media. So that's a little weird. Probably because you can still upload, media for those other Amazon pages, but not necessarily the US page. They're probably going to roll this out. They start with the US and then they update all the other platforms. There's a lot of big changes, so things are shifting sort of quickly. I can show you what the current author page looks like on Amazon. It's had a little bit of a redesign. So now it's got your about the author, most popular, and top titles. I actually use Derek Murphy for my nonfiction stuff, so it's only showing all of my nonfiction books. But this is sort of the layout, how things look. It's a little bit cleaner. Down here at the bottom, you would have book recommendations and things like that. It looks like Derek Murphy is my main account, and then I have 2 pen names. So DS Murphy is my fiction pen name. It's just, I wanted to have a different author central account with a different author name so that my fiction and my nonfiction stuff doesn't get all mixed up, even though I'm really just using my real name. So this is what it looks like on my fiction site. It's got the top titles, all the fiction book covers. It seems like it's not organizing this by series. I think it'd be really cool if I could organize this by series so that I had all my series covers grouped together instead of it all being sort of random. It's got a customers also bought down here, which is kind of nice. These are other young adult fantasy authors in my genre. And then down here, it's manage your follows, but I don't think we can actually manage. Oh, I see. This is other authors that I'm following from my account. I'm not sure if this really does anything to like tell Amazon, where to position your Amazon account. Small little thing, but you can use emojis on Amazon. I thought that was kind of fun when I first found that out a while ago. Like in your Amazon description, even. You can add some emojis. It's a little bit more colorful. There's a lot of emojis you can choose from, like for fantasy or sci-fi and stuff. But it could also be kind of tacky and distracting. If everybody was using it, I just thought it was kind of fun because few people are using it. So on my Amazon Author Central dashboard, I have three pen names kind of built in all together, and now I can see my followers. I have about 10,000 followers altogether on my three different pen names, which is not a crazy amount. It's probably about right for the books I've sold. But now that I'm going to be finishing some series this year, I'll probably want to go ahead and clean up my Amazon Author Central dashboard a little bit, add those recommended books. And then as I roll out some new releases to my email list, which is probably about 25K now, then I can just keep reminding them to follow me, or I can run some King Sumo giveaways with a big prize to try to get people to follow me on Amazon. Or I could also have them follow me on BookBub or some of the other sites. I'm going to check out one other thing, which is the BookScan weekly sales report. So it shows this little graph here with the total units and a graph of sales and which books are selling. I can change this for the time period. It says I've only sold 122 books in the last 2 years. That I think probably isn't right. That sounds kind of surprising. This is my DS Murphy fiction one. It says 152 units in the last 2 years. It says the BookScan estimates they report 85% of all retail print book sales. So this is probably only for print, and it's not even all of print. So it's sort of useful that they have a feature like this, and it's also not useful at all because it doesn't keep track of ebooks and audiobooks. So we can compare that to Book Report, which is what I use to keep track of my sales. This mixes everything together from my whole Amazon dashboard. So each of those pen names, but I could filter by author or marketplace. I typically make about $1,000 a month on Amazon when I'm not promoting, but I haven't had a new release in probably 6 months. So I've kind of let things slide, and I'll have to build them back up with ads. But if I filter for the last 2 years, that's about 30,000, which is it's something. It's not amazing life changing money, but I'm making some money on Amazon. And if I go all time, I think I'm past 100K now, 130K. But I still feel like I'm both early and late. I've been doing this for a while, but I've been doing it slowly. So I started publishing nonfiction like 10 years ago and fiction about 6 years ago, but I haven't yet finished any of my fiction series. So I think I'm at the point where I can start to finish my series and then I can start to actually advertise profitably, which I could never really do before. So I've been playing around and testing out a lot of marketing stuff in terms of growing an author platform and building a following, but I haven't really focused on direct sales and earning income yet in the way that I think I will be able to in the near future this year once I finish some series.